All right. Hi to our CMC audience. I'm Molly Jane, CMC's content lead. I apologize for the lateness in the start. It is entirely on me. We have today here Jamil from Gamma.io, who's going to walk me through how to use stacks. Jamil, do you want to give maybe a bit longer of an introduction than I just gave you?
For sure, thanks. Yeah, I'm Jamil, the founder of Gamma.io, which is an NFT marketplace for Bitcoin NFTs built on stacks. And thanks for inviting me on here to guide you through being a stacks power user.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited. I've done this once before and I didn't learn, I guess, not enough to remember my Stacks password. So we're starting fresh with the new Stacks wallet. I can begin sharing my screen and you can show me some stuff that I can do.
Great. Yeah, so if you're ready to get started, Molly's starting from, you're starting from a little bit more of an advanced position than most people will be. Most people won't have the extension installed or anything like that. So the first step, if you're getting started with stacks, is to install either one or both of the browser extensions. So this is similar to MetaMask on Ethereum. You can download that at hero.so/wallet. That's where you can download this extension. And that's basically your gateway to basically Web3 on Bitcoin. It allows you to access all of these decentralized apps, exchanges, NFT marketplaces that we'll all walk through as part of this session. When you first install the Hero wallet, just like if you install MetaMask or any other browser extension, you'll get a prompt to create a fresh wallet with a new seed phrase. And just like any other crypto wallet, make sure you store this in a secure place and never share it with anyone. In an ideal scenario, this is the only time you really need to see it or use it. But just make sure you store that in a safe place because that's what gives you access to your funds and your account and your identity in the Hero wallet.
Yep.
All right. So if we click on that Hero wallet icon in the top right, you'll see that come up in your browser. You can see a few things here, right? You can see your address. You can see your balances. These will show you your stacks balance, your fungible token balance, all of the different things that you basically have in your account, as well as your activity. So what transactions you've made in the past, who you've sent stacks to, and things along those lines. And if you don't have any stacks in your wallet, there are a couple things you can do. You can hit that receive button. And if you're sending stacks from an exchange or from another user, they can scan your QR code and send it that way. If you're sending it from an exchange, you can just copy the wallet address like we showed it in the previous, right over there, and paste it in the exchange withdrawal section. But if you go back to the previous screen in the top left, there's actually some great fiat on-ramps as well now in the Hero wallet. So if you don't have any stacks in your account, like it is in this case, you can just hit buy over there. And depending on whether you're a US resident or a non-US resident, there's different options available to you for how you can get stacks from your credit card into your wallet really easily. So this is like your basically like Web3 on Bitcoin home is in the Hero wallet where you can, send stacks, receive stacks, interact with these decentralized applications. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I definitely, as a US citizen, had a lot of trouble the first time I tried to get stacks because I ended up using, I believe, Gate.io for a minute, which was definitely marketed at more advanced traders. And so I think an option like a MoonPay or a Transact where I can, even though I am in a quote unquote advanced crypto trader, I'm actually not. I'm a basic crypto trader. So I need to be handheld, I think. And I think people need
definitely have problems with some of these exchanges too. They sometimes make it more complicated than it really should be.
They make it very complicated. I'll see if I can pull up my Gate.io account. Yeah, see, this is my last stacks. It's not as nice. It's not as easy. It worked for me once, but.
Yeah, definitely. I think MoonPay, Transact are both great options and they make it really easy. They have a really nice onboarding flow. You can use a debit or credit card straight away. I think there's minimal KYC involved, but it's a very straightforward process.
Oh, I don't want to spend that much.
The interface is a lot simpler than many of these exchanges.
Just seeing what happens here. Oh, okay. So it's pretty much like a, see how far I can take this before I'll have to input my credit card information on television. Okay, I'll stop here.
Sounds
Got
great.
it. Uh-huh.
There's also a Hero Wallet desktop app. Now, this is what you would use if you want to use cold storage, or if you want to like a ledger, or if you want to keep your stacks a little bit more secure. It's not meant for interacting with these decentralized applications like NFT marketplaces or exchanges. It's basically meant to store your stacks and provide like a secure home for it. And this is a good segue into what we're going to talk about next, which is stacking. So one of the great features of stacks is that the consensus mechanism, the way that stacks blocks are actually mined, involves committing Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin that miners use to mine stacks is distributed back to people who stack their stacks. So by owning stacks, by holding stacks and stacking it, you can actually earn a Bitcoin yield. And we can see this if you go to a website back on the browser called stacking.club. Yeah, exactly. They'll show you some details about how this consensus mechanism actually works and how much you can yield. So for example, stackers earned an average of 7.1% APY last cycle. That's pretty standard. We see between 7 and 15% APY for stacking. And by participating,
I like those numbers because I get scared when I see 7,000, 8,000.
Yeah, it's not like your 0.5% savings account, but it's not like your 4,000% APY that you see that you're like, something's wrong here.
Something's
right?
off here, yeah.
I think Stacks has focused very deeply on making a sustainable protocol, and one that sort of is built to last long term, rather than trying to come up with a hype and build something that's unsustainable. So by stacking, you're actually participating in the consensus mechanism, just like an analogy in proof of stake might be staking, where you're actually helping contribute to the security of the network by contributing your ETH into ETH2 whenever that merge happens. But in stacking, it's similar. It just relies on a more proof of work like mechanism and is backed by Bitcoin. So you can see, when it says estimated minimum down there, 130,000 stacks, that's how much stacks you need to actually form your own stacking slot. But most people don't want to contribute this much. That's about $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, depending on the price of stacks. But if you go into the Hero desktop wallet, there's actually ways you can contribute to a stacking pool. So there will be larger groups of people that contribute their stacks together to form a pool, and then they can actually split the rewards among smaller individuals. So if you scroll down to the bottom here, oh, actually it's stacking right on the right. You can press get started. You have a chance to lock your stacks. Now see, if you stack by yourself, the minimum required is quite high. So we don't have the balance.
Yeah, I'm that. Like 59,930 stacks short. Or but something like that.
We can stack in a pool and contribute our stacks to a broader group of people that are in similar situations where they don't have enough to stack on their own. But if you pool as part of a larger group, you will cross that threshold. And so Hero doesn't run any pools. They sort of leave that to the community and to different organizations to run their pools. So OKCoin runs a pool. There are other community-led pools, one by an app called Xverse, which is a mobile wallet on Stacks. And so you can discover some of these pools online. There are some on the Stacks website, and each pool will have an address associated with it. So they wanted to remain impartial in the app and not sort of be biased towards certain pools. So what you do is you find which pool you want to stack with, insert the pool address here, how much you want to stack, and then it will lock it up, and you'll be basically instantly earning your rewards. The stacks will come back in your wallet as either, depending on the pool, as either stacks or as wrapped Bitcoin. So you can choose, depending on the pool that you're using, whether you want to get Bitcoin back or stacks back, and both of those are app options.
Interesting. So if I click here, this is going to show me the pool options.
Yes, exactly.
see.
So if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see, yeah, in a pool.
Mm-hmm.
So Friedger's pool. Friedger is a great Stacks community member who runs his own pool and doesn't charge any fees. He allows people to withdraw, in Stacks or XBDC. Yeah, this is a great pool. I've also used the Xverse pool. Both of those are great. I haven't tried out the other options, so can't speak to them, but I'm sure they're wonderful as well.
Yeah, just clicking around, seeing how my stacks are doing. Looking at Friedger's pool. Oh yeah, it is one man. Yeah.
Yeah. If you scroll down, he has some of the different addresses that you can lock your stacks for, and there are also different cycle times, so you can lock yours for a shorter time or a longer time.
So how long are each of the cycles? What would be the difference in time if I choose one cycle versus 6 versus 12 versus 3?
They're about 2 weeks is about one cycle. You can see the exact details at stacking.club again. If you go to current cycle, you'll be able to see the length of each cycle and how far we're into each cycle.
Here we go.
The current cycle at the top, or yeah, right there.
Oh, here it is.
You can see.
Okay, wow, yeah, this is a lot of information. But yeah, I think I understand it.
It's definitely overwhelming, but if you're planning on stacking more, it's useful to understand, all the details and estimate your APR. And you can see the cycle began 6 days ago and is expected to end in about 10 days. So that's 16 days. It's block-based, so we can't give like an exact time, but we can estimate the time it'll take. And depending on the speed of Bitcoin miners, that can either be faster or slower.
And so once you have your stacks, what are some things you can do with them? I know that there are a lot of cities that are based on stacks.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about these city coins, if you can.
Yeah, that's a great question. So what we're going to do is we can take a look at, for example, some of the different things you can do with your stacks. So we'll take a look at DeFi first. And there are several DeFi platforms on Stacks where you can interact with different tokens that are built on Stacks, including those that are city coins based. So I'll show 2 of them to you today. One is called Alex, which is alexgo.io is the URL for it.
Alexgo.io?
.io, sorry.
Oh, here it is. Well, that's me for not typing correctly. Here we go. This looks right.
All right, then you go launch app. And this is a decentralized exchange. So it's similar to something like Uniswap on Ethereum. So you can exchange your stacks for another token. Like, for example, if we put 10 stacks in here and we select another token like XBDC that can convert it into wrapped Bitcoin. So you want to convert your stacks into Bitcoin and back. You can do that here.
Should I see if it works?
Yeah, you can try see if it works. I think you're using a different wallet for this.
I know, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, so
I'm using
I
a
think
different wallet.
So don't worry about it. But you can also do other things like, I don't know if you can dismiss that web browser is out of date thing.
No, I think I don't want to update my browser in the middle of this.
If you can close it, can you close that thing? Or is it just stuck there?
No,
because there's other things you can do on Alex, like staking and yield farming and all of that other good DeFi stuff that we're all familiar with. But we can leave that as an exercise to the viewer to explore some of the other things you can do on DeFi
there we
platform.
Go. Cool.
Yeah, so you can be a liquidity provider as well and provide liquidity to one of these pools and earn both emission rewards and fees from swaps, and stake your Alex and do all of the DeFi related activities that you want. Another decentralized exchange is called StackSwap. That's stackswap.org.
There we go. It knew. My computer knew where we were going.
Yeah, and if you click launch swap, that's another place where you can swap your stacks for different tokens. So you can see all of the tokens. If you click there, you can see there's Miami coin, there's stable coin, New York City coin, and all of these other community created tokens as well that others have made for other purposes. Yeah, like meme coins or whatever.
Yeah, so these are definitely interesting names.
Yeah. So this is a great place to explore, some of the other community created tokens, and also to create your own token. They also have a launch pad where anybody can sort of create their own token and establish their own trading pair.
Oh, this is really quick. I'm not going to create a token now, but I could. I just don't have a creative enough name for it. That's what's holding me back.
Once you think of one.
Once I think of one, then that's it. Then there's nothing holding me back. Yeah,
exactly. So that's a rough overview of DeFi on Stacks. We have platforms like Alex and StackSwap, where you can not only swap but pool, provide liquidity, yield farm, and stake, and participate in this entire basically economy that's starting to grow and being built out on Stacks. So next, we'll look a little bit at NFTs and the NFT ecosystem on Bitcoin, which I'm personally, super excited about.
Your expertise.
So, the platform we'll use for this is gamma.io. And so this is a platform for Bitcoin NFTs powered by Stacks. And you can see some of our featured collections over there, and some of the top collections as well that are being traded on our marketplace every day. So we can maybe try Megapon Ape Club. That's a very popular NFT collection on Stacks that I'm a community member of, and the founder, he's great. They're going to have a party in NFT NYC next month, so I'm super excited about that.
Maybe I'll be there.
That would be awesome. Yeah, let me know if you need a ticket. Yeah, so you can see all of the NFTs that are coming from this collection. You can filter. There's a filter option at the top where you can filter by whether they're for sale. You can see the attributes, filter by whatever you feel personally most attached to.
Wow. Okay.
I find it a lot of fun, in some of these profile picture collections to just explore some of these different traits and see which ones you find a more personal connection to. You can also see the activity and what people are trading, what people are buying, listing and selling. So you can see people have listed their NFTs and are buying and trading these on the marketplace.
They're definitely a little out of my price range, considering I have 70 stacks right now, but maybe at some point in the future.
For sure. If you go to the homepage, we'll also see another type of collection. This was like a profile picture collection that we often have, that we often see on platforms like Ethereum as well. But there are several other types of art that we have on the platform and that people are creating, especially for Bitcoin NFTs. I think people appreciate the photography, the fine art. They really want to secure these high value items on the most secure blockchain there is out there. So if we take a look at some of the top collections, you can see there's not only profile picture collections, but if you go to number 6 over there, the Alaska collection, that's a great photography collection that we have on the platform that is created by a creator. His name is Levi. He's traveled the world, and he takes incredible photography of wherever he goes, both drone footage and personal footage. And one of these just sold yesterday for I think 999 stacks. So we just see incredible creators that are creating on this platform and sharing their work.
Yeah, I don't often see photography as NFTs, so that's refreshing.
I'm very excited about all of these different use cases for NFTs beyond the profile picture as well. I have a lot of fun and a lot of great communities that emerge out of profile picture collections like Megapont, like Crash Punks, like others. But there are tons of use cases that are emerging right now for access-based passes. For example, there's a collection called the Explorer Guild that's available to trade on Gamma. And what this allows access to is actually a platform for decentralized writing by another company called Seigel. So this is a profile picture collection that actually offers access to another platform and gives you membership and software subscription. So it's a much more advanced and different use case for NFTs than what we've seen before. And we're seeing so many of those emerge on Stacks, sort of this explosion of different use cases and different possibilities for NFTs.
And these are more affordable for me, at least. When my stacks arrive, if they arrive, this is what, oh, look, I have 30.
30 now. All right, let's find something for 30 stacks.
Okay, and just, I will send anything left over back to you at the end of this. I'm not a stack stealer.
Well, what we can do is Megapon is a quite expensive collection, but they have what's called components, robot components. So if you search components, these are actually really fun. They have it's the last one down there. It's a collection that is actually like these little components that you can use to build up a robot. And they have something called a robot factory where you can combine these components with a robot to build a robot. So I actually like these as NFTs on their own sometimes. I keep a lot of them that I haven't even built a robot.
I want this.
Robot from. Yeah, so actually you can buy this one right now if you connect your Stacks wallet. Yeah. So yeah, connect that one. Mm-hmm. And then just hit buy again on that.
Let's see.
And you should see a pop-up to confirm the purchase. And then scroll down and just hit confirm. Now
I'll hit standard.
Yep. Now, if you scroll up a little bit first, actually, one thing that you'll notice here compared to MetaMask or Ethereum is Stacks is very explicit about what you're doing in a transaction. So sometimes on MetaMask, you don't know what you're doing. On Ethereum, you might submit a transaction and then suddenly all your NFTs are gone. That doesn't happen on Stacks because we explicitly say this is what's going to happen at the end of the transaction. And if the transaction tries to do something suspicious or funny or transfer all your NFTs or transfer all your funds, that transaction will revert. So this is like a set of promises that says after this transaction completes, you will transfer at most 2.08 stacks from your wallet, and another address will transfer a Megapod robot component to you. And if that doesn't happen, then the transaction will actually not go through. So if the smart contract tries to steal from you, it won't be able to, essentially. So
okay, I like that. Protection, customer protection.
It's definitely more secure.
I'm gonna press confirm. Let's see.
And then if you open up your Hero wallet on the side and go to activity, you should be able to see this transaction pending now.
All right. This will be this will be my second ever NFT purchase, both of which happened on live Stacks walkthroughs. So
amazing. Love it. And this will confirm at the next Bitcoin block. So whenever the next Bitcoin block confirms, another Stacks block confirms, and this will go through. One other thing. Yeah. I
was just gonna say, while we're waiting for that to happen, I got one audience question just fed to me, and it's a little bit back to the stacking aspect, but is it possible, our audience asks, for a stack pool owner to ever default?
So because you're not actually lending out your stacks, there's no default risk, at least with this. Now, the price of stacks can go up or down, and the price of Bitcoin can go up or down. So your rewards may vary, and you might suffer from some loss because the price of stacks goes down or the price of Bitcoin goes down. But when you're locking in this stacking mechanism, you're not using it as collateral for a loan. So it's not possible to default in that sense. Your stacks, once you lock it in a stacking pool, you're guaranteed to be able to withdraw it back. You're not going to lose that stacks. So in that sense, the risk is, there's no risk of losing your stacks. The risk is of price, variation.
Price changing, yeah, which is a risk, I think, in many trading protocols.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see. While we're waiting for this little guy to load.
So I'll show one more thing on the platform, which is so this is like the act of buying NFTs, but we actually have another part to this site, and I'll show a little bit of that. If you go click explore at the top, you can see, for example, there are auctions that we have on the platform that are going on right now. And we actually, a bunch of different artists from Tezos are actually launching their Genesis collection on Bitcoin right now. So we're really excited about some of these auctions that are happening right now. If you click on one, you're actually able to place a bid. You can see these current bids of like 100 stacks or 220 stacks. And some of them have a reserve price, but the auction hasn't started yet. So these are all like great, more one-of-ones, fine art as well. It's not just the large collections. We also have some great, more artistic collections that are focused on individual artists and creators. This one's a great one. It has some audio as well. That's really nice. It's really calming. I bid on one of these as well.
I turned it on, but I think only I could hear the audio. But yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah. So if you scroll up a little bit as well, let's go back to the previous page. If you click on the icon in the top left again, we'll go now to one more thing, which is the creator tools. So if you click on create on the top right, that will actually show you a way to create your own NFT collection. So you'll be able to, with your Hero wallet, now you're empowered to buy NFTs, but you're also empowered to create your own collections and deploy them and share them with the world, just like you saw these artists. I don't know why the internet is
just, one of those things. Here it is.
Yeah. So yeah, you can connect your wallet and you'll be able to define and deploy a custom smart contract that will mint your NFTs. So we don't have to go through that whole flow now, but it's something that exists. I think this is one of the great things about Web3 is that in the traditional sense, you're like a consumer only, right? You're able to buy things, you're able to use your credit card, but by downloading your Hero wallet, you're also enabled to be a creator, just like you saw in StackSwap with launching your own token, and also with Gamma with launching your own NFT collection. There's one more thing that I want to show, which is a great aspect of both Stacks and the marketplace too. If you close this tab and go back and click on your profile in the top right-hand side, you can actually create a profile as well. And
like my little moon face.
and set a profile picture and do all of that fun stuff, and see which NFTs you own. So once that transaction confirms, you can see it here. And so there's a ton of things you can do on Stacks. We've seen DeFi, we've seen NFTs, and there's a whole ecosystem of applications that are basically built on top of Stacks where you can add these things together. We saw the Explorer Guild, which uses an NFT to provide access to their platform. So you've got this whole ecosystem of applications that are built on top of each other and built on top of Stacks.
Yeah, I'll say that I was at the Stacks event in Miami a few weeks ago where we actually met in person. And it was one of those community crypto events where I felt like everyone knew each other. Beyond just whoever owned an NFT, it was that everyone that built on Stacks knew each other. So maybe you could talk a little bit about what it was like deciding to build on Stacks and sort of join this Stacks community, because it's very niche. It's a very special niche thing in crypto to do DeFi and Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a, it's interesting because Bitcoin has, I think right now it's over double the market cap of Ethereum, or around double the market cap of Ethereum. So you have a lot of capital that's sitting in Bitcoin that's currently not being as actively used as what you see on Ethereum. On Ethereum, you see lots of NFT activity, a lot of DeFi activity. And so what Stacks is, it's a small developer community right now, but actually when you look at the amount of developers that are building on Stacks, it's way disproportionate compared to some of these other L1 ecosystems. I think a lot of developers find the value proposition of building on Bitcoin very strong. A lot of developers like me first got their first crypto experience with Bitcoin. And so there's a very, very strong developer ecosystem and a very strong user base that's coming from here. I think some other ecosystems rely on a lot of, maybe momentum or venture capital and things like that. And certainly Stacks has that as well. But there's a very strong and tight, as you saw in Miami, a very strong Bitcoin developer community. And we're all very passionate about what we do.
Yeah, it definitely was fascinating to see you guys all kind of come together. I guess my next question has to do with sort of what you see as the future of Stacks. Right now it already has a fair amount of things, but further down on in the roadmap, are there any plans in the Stacks community to expand beyond sort of the current offerings there are right now?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we want to be able to do a little bit more is on Gamma, for example, we denominate everything in Stacks. So as you saw, as you can see here, there's a floor value, the total sales, the total bought. When you bought the NFT, it was bought in Stacks. We want to enable a little bit more of that deeper Bitcoin integration to allow people to buy and sell and trade NFTs with native Bitcoin. I think that's going to be a very key unlock for Stacks is we have this tight connection to Bitcoin, and Stacks can read the Bitcoin state. It can be, we can know when new Bitcoin transactions happen in a trustless and permissionless way. And it would be great to bring some of those advantages to these applications like marketplaces and enable deeper Bitcoin native integration. So that's one thing I'm super excited about. I think the other thing is in building a marketplace like this, a lot of other platforms like OpenSea have focused purely on the buying and selling of NFTs. And as you can see, we've tried to be a little bit more holistic. I think that's an important part of the whole creator to collector experience is how do you make it easy for people to launch their own collections that they own? How do you make it easy to socially interact with other users and see other people and how they're trading and how they're interacting with the platform, and even interact with other people on the platform as well? So we have a strong community, a strong artist creator tools, and a strong collector experience as well. We sort of want to bring all of that together rather than looking at one piece on its own. I think that speaks to, I guess, the more holistic, like long-term mindset that Bitcoiners generally have when building platforms. It's not trying to build for like quick returns or quick hype, or as you said, those 4,000% APYs. It's trying to build something that's really sustainable and provides long-term value.
Okay, I think that was all the questions I had from the audience. I guess maybe my last question before we'll wrap this up and I'll run off to the next panel that I'm hosting during this conference is there anything that you are particularly looking forward and seeing in the next year? I mean, I don't need like a price prediction. And obviously you just talked about having Bitcoin be more of a denomination and more of a use case here, but sort of Bitcoin in the future, what things are you really hoping to see in the next few months?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the things and for price, I'm not keeping like I watch the price, but I don't think that's the primary thing I look forward to, right? We're not really building this just to get rich quickly. We're building this to build actually a completely different future from the Web 2 or the Web 1 patterns that we saw. So what excites me is the ability to rethink a lot of these patterns and figure out what is the best way to build platforms, build tools, and build infrastructure in a decentralized, in an open, in a permissionless way. And this sort of segues into what I'm most excited about too, which is, and why I'm in NFTs, is you almost see a new fundamental asset class or tool emerging with NFTs that allows you to do a ton of different things. On Ethereum, we saw a DAO that fundraised through NFT sales to buy a parcel of land in Wyoming, right? And then form like a city based on it. You saw a group that raised through NFT sales a purchase of a golf course that they're working on right now, and partnered with huge partners like Callaway and other famous brands. So you see like from the ground up, people are starting to discover new ways of facilitating ownership, of facilitating growth, of facilitating building in a more open and decentralized way. And I think that's what I'm most excited about. When I see the NFTs that come on the platform, whether it's artistic, whether it's photography, whether it's DAO based, you just see a whole new unlock of creators finding new ways to make a living, and companies finding new ways of modeling their subscriptions, and organizations finding new ways of building up new infrastructure and new membership-based things. So that really gets me excited, because I think it's a completely different way of thinking, and none of us know where this is going to be in a year, but I just know that it's going to be a lot of fun figuring that out.
Okay, I hope to be figuring it out right along with you guys all in the wider Bitcoin community. I just wanted to say thank you again for joining us here, and hopefully I'll see you again at another conference coming up. Right now we're 2 for 2, so only looking forward to more.
Thank you so much, Molly. Thanks so much for inviting me on. It was a pleasure.
Of course. Thank you.